Dr. Kia Pre, shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Soul Tribe, welcome. Come on in. Check in. Let us know where you're hailing from, family. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. So this is Sunday. It is July 19th, 2026, and the time is about 1:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so happy to see everybody. Check in. Good evening, good afternoon, grand rising, grand afternoon, grand night, depending upon where you're hailing from. I see you all checking in already from all over the world. So we do have some breaking news, and you all know that's my forte. I love giving breaking news, new news that everybody hasn't heard about, right? We like giving the news first here on the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. Hi. Now, if you want breaking currency news, we have a private channel for that. We talk about foreign currencies, precious metals. We'll be talking about whole life insurance, how to invest, all type of things in my private group. About a week ago, I had the economist Dex Lattimore, who happens to be my son, to come into the group and tell us how to get out of debt. He actually encouraged us in the areas of negating negative items on our credit report, if that's what you desire to do. We know credit is going to go away, but for those who want to get it ahead of the game. Maybe you don't have time to wait for credit to disappear. Dex Lattimore came on the show and talked to us about ways to remedy those negative items that are on our credit report, completely legal and normal, by writing certain type of letters. He also helped us to understand our credit score and how it is made up, or how they figure it out, and how to increase our credit score. So I had done a class on that about 2 weeks ago, and then I brought an economist on to talk about that last week as well. It was a very good discussion. And then on yesterday in the private group, we had Chief Mack to answer some very, very important questions on how to live in the private. He was dropping jewels that he hasn't told anybody else on any podcast in the private group, on different things you need to know and do in order to live in the private. So in the private group, we discuss things at length. I might have a meeting in a private group after this one. It depends on how this one goes, in case we need to talk about certain things in detail. And the reason why I say that is because there's a video I want to show you all that I haven't been able to post. I was going to, the woman that had posted the video actually keeps having it taken down. But thankfully, our chat moderator captured it and she sent it to me. So I do have that video of a very key person, a former banker, actually saying that the wealth transfer is here. He made a lot of certain comments that I did vet out, and I looked it up, and everything's spot on. He said a lot of things that we've been saying. I'm going to report that to you in a few minutes, but I do have that video. I may show that video to the private group. So if you are interested in seeing it on the private group, then I put the link in the chat for you, the video of the ex-banker saying certain things. And then I got to take it straight down because I don't want to get flagged. In fact, so thank you for the chat moderator for sending that video to me. But I told Chief Mack I tried to post the video on my on social media so that I can pull it up while you and I are interacting today, and I got a flag, like a red flag, not just a limited, how to say, limited monetization, no monetization, a red flag, a red alert that I needed to take that video down right away. So I just thought that was interesting, but I may show it here. I don't know. I don't want to, miss out on any opportunities to report the news. Sometimes I'll get flagged and they'll take down my channels. And I've had that to happen numerous times across all my social media. As a matter of fact, I'm permanently banned on Twitter. I've been waiting for that to happen. Not really, but I could tell that they were watching me. Twitter was, because they wouldn't monetize me. And I've been doing financial forecasts on Twitter for about over 10 years, not about 10 years. Whenever they would take down my YouTube channels, I would just post on Twitter. But a couple years ago, Twitter told me that they told me they wouldn't monetize me and I would appeal. And they said that I'm permanently banned from appealing 2 years ago. And then recently on Twitter, somebody hacked into my account. And they just started using all of my information, all of my intel, my videos, and it was a big company, as if it were them. So I reported that to Twitter, and Twitter deleted my account and permanently banned me when someone else had hacked my account. But this is how I know that I'm being watched, that we're being watched over here. We are the news. In fact, somebody sent me that video of President Trump saying something about Q. There's a video where President Trump a couple days ago said something about Q Intel, because a lot of people try to make those people who know that the Q Intel was military dropping information about the deep state being taken down. They try to make us feel crazy. President Trump mentioned Q Intel in one of his speeches the other day. But anyway, we've been flagged on many occasions. In fact, we've been flagged when we would talk about President Trump's first administration, and I talked about election fraud. I talked about the shutdown of the world. I forecasted that. I pre-told that the world was about to be shut down, and of course, I was flagged for that. And but it happened a few days after I reported that it would happen. We reported so much. We reported on silver and gold, and that made the deep state upset a couple years ago. And I kept getting flagged for that, and I had a video taken down while I was telling people get silver and gold now. This is this is an emergency. Central banks all across the globe are accumulating gold in record numbers. While I was speaking, my YouTube channel got taken down. That channel got taken down for 3 years. So I kept, uploading new channels. I kept creating new channels. And then finally I had to take a break because even under Trump's first administration and the Biden administration, I was heavily censored. But here we are. We have another chance to tell the news. And the breaking news is that a former banker has mentioned that this is it. He said that there are a lot of things that are happening right now that warrant our attention. He said that there are several occurrences that are happening. He spoke on the revaluation of currencies. He spoke on the emergency broadcast system announcement. He talked about military movement, testing of the EBS system, all of that. But you're watching now? You're watching from Nevada. Thank you. We come so far. The best is yet to come. Yes. So I talked to Chief Mack about it. I was like, Chief Mack, should I go ahead and show the video? And he was like, well, you can show it from your phone. I just don't want to get flagged. So I guess we could show it. But let me tell you what happened. So this banker said that a collapse is happening right now. Let me go ahead and show it. See if I can show it from my phone. I tried to post it. They won't let me post it. Come on in the room, family. We're showing you a video that's very, very pressing. Breaking news. Hope they didn't take it down. Greetings. Greetings. Chief Max in the house. He says, greetings, Chief. I got a little bit of rest, not much. We're finally on our way. Absolutely. So let me go ahead and see if I could show you this video. Come on in the room. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to show it.
It's not to be understated. We're undergoing such a transition in the world. Many have compared the coming events to like the parting of the Red Sea. Well, this is far beyond that. The scope is much bigger. It covers the entire planet as we're nearing a point of the collapse. And they announced that in the last 12 months, $200 billion in deposits have left Chase Bank. This is huge, folks. We have the makings of a banking apocalypse unlike anything we've ever seen in our lives. The military's been on mass movement throughout the United States. There have been heavily movements in 27 states. There's more coming. We've even seen it here locally. They were literally driving a tank down the main drag here in town. It was unbelievable. So a lot of choppers going overhead, military aircraft. Everybody's like, what's going on? Well, we're actually in the midst of the roundup, and they're kind of doing this strategically because they can't. This isn't something you can do in one day. It's just too big.
So I'm going to stop right there. basically what he was saying was there's a major collapse coming. Yes, thank you for commenting. Military movement is in 27 states right now. We're in the midst of a roundup. They've seen choppers in the skies, tankers going through the streets. Hold on, I'll show you more.
For that. So they're doing it in pieces. And what we're beginning to hear reports of is that internet outages are happening in some areas for an hour, for 2 hours, or 3 hours, and it comes back on. Well, these dark periods are so that they can do their stuff that they need to do in terms of taking these people into custody, and can stop their communications with any of the outside people. So you're going to continue to hear of this. You'll probably begin to hear of testing of the emergency broadcast system in various areas.
So he said you're going to hear about testing of emergency broadcast system in various areas. I'm going to pause there because I'm going to show proof that some of this really is happening. So one of the things he said is there have been 200 billion, and we do know that's true, in deposits that have left Chase banks. And people were trying to figure out why over $200 billion in deposits have left Chase Bank. Let me see if I can find that right here. When you look it up, it says JP Morgan Chase experienced deposit fluctuations upwards of 200 billion in customer deposits exiting the bank over a 12-month period due to broader United States banking concerns and shifting interests. So people are removing $200 billion, but we don't know who those people are that's removing $200 billion. They're saying that this figure aligns with the roughly 230 billion in assets that JP Morgan shifted from the UK to Frankfurt post Brexit. So 200 billion have left JP Morgan. Yes, we believe banks possibly will be shutting. The banks are definitely will be shutting down because banks. Oh, Chief Max says because banks can no longer fractionalize our deposits. What else? Let me show you another thing about this 200 billion leaving our accounts, leaving JP Morgan accounts. Here it is. Here's an article. Customers have withdrawn $200 billion worth of deposits from American banking giant JP Morgan in the last year. My question is, who are those customers? Most people don't just remove their money from the banks. I mean, maybe it's the big money people, maybe it's the whales. I did a video with economist Dex Lattimore last week. Why are whales secretively moving their money? Okay, they're moving them from cryptocurrency platforms into wallets. They're moving their money from out of the bank accounts into precious metals, or they're trying to take their money out before the assets are frozen. And some of this money movement is accounts being frozen, because we know that a lot of people here in America have been businessmen, whales that have created businesses and they had their money in the accounts. And then you have foreign nationals that had come here to America and they were laundering money through the banks. That's why if you look at, I have a video called FBI Raids. I go into how the FBI raided banks and froze the assets. And then President Trump, not too long ago, mentioned that there were people that were seeking to harm and cheat Americans. And he said, if you cheat or harm Americans, we will find you, freeze your assets, and prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. So this article from the Daily Huddle says customers have withdrawn $200 billion worth of deposits from American banking giant JP Morgan in the last year as the bank deals with a long list of fines, losses, and scandals. As Chief Max says, the banks will close. They can no longer fractionalize. They can no longer take advantage of us. I have been reporting through the years that we had major banks to collapse. Like within 2022, between 2022 and 2023, we had 5 major banks that collapsed. So These banks are crashing, they're collapsing and closing, and the ones that remain will be wealth management centers. JP Morgan's latest earnings presentation for Q3 of the year shows that excluding deposits from First Republic Bank, which the bank acquired last year, deposits were down year on year to 2.3 trillion compared to 2.5 trillion. So banks are collapsing. There's really no such thing as deposits, Free Thought said. Okay. Now, what else do I want to show you? He said military is on the ground. We do know that military is on the ground because in 2025 of September, President Trump met with military generals. Do you remember that? That occurred right before right before the Trump administration shut down the government. Let me see if I can find that. This was 2025. He announced that he was going to meet with them. Then he met with them. And he said that he was sending the generals and nationals all across the country. Now, the mainstream media said that he was sending generals all across the country to clean up what was gang activity. And we're glad he did that because, you have domestic terrorism where these people are foreign and domestic. So you had women coming online after Trump sent the National Guard into the communities saying, thank you so much, President Trump, for getting rid of the criminals that was on our lands and getting rid of some of these, drug cartel. But President Trump not only sent the military generals and National Guard to clean up the gang activity and all that, but he also sent them, the military and the National Guard, to round up the militia that were here, drug launderers that were here, because you might have petty gangs in the communities and urban communities and even in rural areas, but a lot of those gangs answer to a bigger head, which is the government, the police, and other foreign entities. We have foreign nationals that were the drug cartel that were here laundering money and drugs in the communities. For example, I've said this before, a lot of those people that are not from America that own convenience stores and gas stations were peddling drugs throughout the communities. This is why you see a heavy presence of police departments or police officers at the convenience stores and at the gas stations, because they were complicit in protecting these foreign nationals that were on our lands through these shell corporations and companies that were actually running drugs. In September 2025, President Donald Trump and Defense Secretary, who is now the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, held an unprecedented gathering of over 800 generals and admirals at Marine Corps base, the base in Virginia. By the way, as Tony Hood reported to us yesterday, President Trump right now is in Cheyenne Mountain. We were told years ago under the Trump administration, his first administration, that once the stuff goes down, the stuff hits the fan, we'll have an emergency broadcast system announcement that will happen. The country and likely the world was shut down. President Trump will be at Cheyenne Mountain in protection while the last leg of the roundup occurs. Y'all remember that, right? We were told that under the first administration. Here we are. President Trump, thank you for letting us know, Tony, that he's there right now, is in Cheyenne Mountain. And can you put in the chat what he's meeting about, Tony? You told us yesterday, but I just want you to refresh our memory. September 2025, President Trump and Secretary of Defense, the War Secretary Pete Hegseth, held an unprecedented gathering where they used the summit to lay out plans to deploy military forces to United States cities, enforce new grooming standards, and eliminate woke culture in the military. How are they going to eliminate woke culture? They're not going to just eliminate woke culture in the military. They're going to round up folk that have been peddling drugs, harming children, and doing all sorts of things. It gets gruesome. I'm going to meet with my private group. I'm going to tell you about stuff that's been going on with the trains, and I'm just going to tell you even more, go into more detail. So if you are interested, join a private group. We're going to show you what else has been happening to let us know that this is it. We're getting ready for an emergency broadcast system announcement. Trump is well insulated. I'm going to tell you something about you talk about credit unions. Not all credit unions collapse. You will need a check. You will need to check the charter. Thank you, to see if they are nonprofit or for profit. I'm going to tell you in the private group about your. I would just tell you, if you have a bank account, make sure you take some cash out, because you never know what's going to happen. Okay, if things will cease. So military is on the ground. They're rounding up the deep state right now. They're testing the emergency broadcast system right now. That's the information we're receiving. And people, I think it was Chief Mack and I that did a show one day when people were saying that they were receiving emergency broadcast system announcement tests, though. And we know that this will happen testing will happen before they actually have a presidential EBS. I don't know if you all recall, but October the 2nd, 2018, at exactly 2:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there was a presidential EBS testing that went out. And we told everybody it was going to happen because I got the message that we're about to have a presidential emergency broadcast system announcement test on October 2nd, 2018 at 2:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was waiting by my phone and it literally happened. And what we came to realize or understand is that a presidential emergency broadcast system announcement test is a way for the president to test the EBA, or emergency broadcast announcement, through the phones, testing the computer, testing the radio, and any type of electronic device, because a presidential EBS or EBA is the mechanism by which the president can circumvent or work around mainstream media. Yes, you got your foreign currency. I'm feeling very well. Military are embedded with local LEA, have been over a year. What's LEA, please? What else did he say? The wealth so the wealth transfer is on the way. Many people are saying it could happen in July. I just did a podcast yesterday or the day before that said that I asked, could the wealth transfer happen in July? I'm going to go deeper into this in a private group in a few minutes. If you're welcome to come if you want to join. So one of the reasons that we know that this wealth transfer is on the way is because President Trump literally said the other day that Iraq was going to invest billions of dollars into the American economy. And in my private group, we went into detail how they're going to do that. But for the president to make an announcement that Iraq is going to invest billions of dollars into the global economy, and he said this the other day, this is on the heels of us telling everybody that President Trump created a sovereign wealth fund. When Trump came back in 2025, the first thing he did was create a sovereign wealth fund. Then he issued out executive orders to round up the deep state. He met with the military, and then he shut down the government. And the reason why he shut down the government is because the United States Incorporated, the government, is operating on our lands treasonously. This is why the Supreme Court ruled in June of 2024 that the United States government had to eliminate and consolidate their powers because the Chevron doctrine had given the United States Incorporated expansive powers. So the Supreme Court of the United States in June of 2024 said, we're overturning the Chevron doctrine. The corporation called the United States has too much power. They went on further to say the corporation is unlawful, unconstitutional, and therefore treasonous. And any judge that went along with whatever the government did or forced you to abide by the government and the 447 governmental agencies, any of those judges that did that, forced you to pay fines, they committed treason, along with the treasonous United States Incorporated. Then the Supreme Court went on further and said that any judge that knew of a judge that allowed all this to happen and forced you to pay fines, they also committed misprision of treason. So all that happened in 2024. Then Trump comes in 2025. Another thing that happened in 2024 was that the Supreme Court of the United States in June, they said the government was treasonous. July, they came and said that the state-sponsored banks can operate outside of and independently from the Federal Reserve Central Banking System, which means that the states now are operating in their sovereign capacity. State-sponsored banks can operate separately from and independently from the United States Incorporated. The United States Incorporated Federal Reserve Central Banking System, and issue out their own gold-backed currency. The wealth transfer is already happening. All banks are now Basel III compliant, meaning they all have to recognize gold as a tier 1 asset. So all those people that have fiat dollars stored in the banks, those billionaires, they're trying to move their money out, or it's been frozen, or it has been frozen. And their money is going to be worthless anyway because we're moving to the gold standard. So a lot happened in 2024 with the Supreme Court overturning the United States and overturning the Chevron doctrine, said the United States Incorporated is a fake faux government that's unlawful and unconstitutional. And then they moved to say that the United States state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve Central Banking System and issue out their own gold-backed currency. Trump comes in in 2025, the following year, after the Supreme Court overturned the government, overturned the Chevron doctrine. Trump came back, create a sovereign wealth fund, and he said, I'm creating this fund because all other countries have them. The fund is a trust comprised of stocks, bonds, real estate, real estate, precious metals, rare earth minerals, monies from taxes and tariffs. This money, the sovereign wealth fund, the trust, will inject trillions of dollars into the global economy. Oh, law enforcement. Okay, thank you. I forgot what you said about law enforcement. You've seen unmarked black vehicles in your town. Lots of train movement and helicopters flying over too. That's because the takedown is here. Okay. They're going to make a major announcement soon, allegedly. This is for entertainment and education purposes only. The takedown is here. So when Trump created the sovereign wealth fund, and then he started issue out executive orders in 2025. In fact, by the end of 2025, he had issued out 225 executive orders. He met with the military in September. That's why you hear military movement on the ground, boots on the ground, helicopters. So I remember one time Chief Mack was doing a live with me, and he saw military tankers rolling down the street, because they're preparing to shut down, allegedly. We got to use our discernment. This may or may not be true. Shut down the country, perhaps. As he does the final round of the deep state. What else is happening? People are reporting outages. In fact, Chief Mack reported while we were doing a live, I think it was in our private group the other day, that the lights had gone off. They went off and they went back on. And then, the internet was kind of disturbed. Additionally, there's been smog covering up many different cities. I have a family member that traveled either to Canada, or I think she said she went to Canada. It was to Canada, very close to Canada, because people were saying the smog was coming from Canada, but you got smog all over the country. and it's so thick people can't say they're having problems breathing, and it's covering up the skies. Well, my cousin who was driving near Canada, I can't remember, she said she went through Canada, said it was very heavy from Canada. So I don't know if they're doing anything in that area more heavily than they are on the rest of the landmass here, but there's a lot of smog in the area. There's a lot of people saying they can't smell, they don't see fires per se, but they can smell the smoke, and it's burning people's eyes. What else? You have reports saying that the deep state may try to retaliate. New York is very interesting. The NBA playoffs, and I can't see what that is. Oh, trees were burning in Canada. You're reporting, Victor. Thank you. Will people have to still pay bills and rent if they have universal currency? I don't have any information on that. In fact, I heard we're going to be restored all the money that we've paid out to rent and utilities. So, but I don't know if people are going to have to still pay bills. That's a good question. Okay, Lisa Cooper says, I was in JCPenney the other day and the lights went out. See, power outages, shortage. Sometimes they'll do outages. My understanding is they'll have blackouts to prevent the people at the deep state, the people that they're trying to arrest, from communicating. Now, I don't know how that's stopping them, but they'll say they'll have an outage and these people won't be able to communicate. And there are also testing other systems. So we're in the middle of a war, in essence, and it's a serious war between the good and the so-called bad. But you have people that are boots on the ground saying a lot is going on. Again, money has been leaving Chase Bank in an amount of $200 billion. President Trump is making mass arrests. In fact, he announced that he arrested 443 healthcare officials because they were practicing medical fraud. Then you have FBI raids that are occurring. I did a video called FBI raids. Let me see if I can find that. But now there's a final round that needs to happen. I'm going to go more into that in my private group. But let me show you the video I did on FBI raids. Yep, here it is. And keep talking, family. If you go to my lives and go down on the Dr. Kia Pruitt show, FBI raids, they only have till July 4th to clean up this mess. So in that video, I talk about all the different raids that occurred. Let me see if I can find the articles here. Yep. Federal agents raid VA. Is that VA? No, Virginia senator's office. So you had a senator's office that was raided. What else? You have judges' chambers that have been raided. Social Security Administration officers, director's office raided because they said Social Security has stolen 2.28 billion, I think. So the FBI recovered that, and they recovered 1,000 fake records from the Social Security Administration. The FBI raided bank directors' offices. And then I talk about how ICE had been arresting immigrants when immigrants would go through court to try to, get their cases here to expedite their green cards or whatever. The ICE would just raid the courts, arrest some of the judges and foreign nationals that were here. And then I listed in that video different instances of judges getting fired. This is serious. We're at the last leg of the war, is what I want to show you, family. The collapse is here. Banks are collapsing. Money have been withdrawn. The whales, big money, millionaires, billionaires are trying to secretively move their money. They're moving their money from, and I can show you that from, I'm not a big crypto person, but they're moving money from the cryptos platforms into a wallet, trying to hide their assets. And this was secretively, they were hiding their money. See, let me see if I can find, I did that, I showed a video on that. Why are the whales secretively moving billions of dollars? Moving, let me see if I can find it. Well, I'm gonna bring up an article instead. It's a video. I did do a video on that, but look at this. What's being reported when I asked why are whales secretively moving money? Crypto whales, institution, massive private investors, controlling, and hedge funds too. They didn't say hedge funds, but that's one. Controlling large portions of cryptocurrency circulating supply, frequently move billions of dollars in assets. When these sleeping Satoshi era or dormant wallets suddenly awaken, their massive transactions trigger market-wide speculations and price volatility. This could be why we see gold and silver going down, because the markets are trying to figure out what's going on. People are moving their assets. They're moving their assets out of cryptocurrencies. They're moving their assets out of silver and gold, but they're hiding it somewhere, or they're trying to hide their assets, but their assets are being frozen. So I just wanted to give you a little bit about what I heard the former banker say about money moving, and boots being on the ground, wrap-ups happening where the arrests are occurring, and just showing you a little bit about the deep state collapsing. Now, I tried to post the full video. I do have the full video. I tried to post it on my YouTube channel, but I got a flag. So I'm going to share into more detail into my private group. And if you're interested in joining it, you may. Here it is, right here. You can hit the button, the join button, follow the prompts, and you'll be in. However, you don't have to, because just let this serve as an announcement that something big is happening. Chief Mack said the same thing. Some of you are saying you've seen military movement. And some of you are also confirming information that we said. Anybody else have any information to let us know that things could be actually speeding up? And it could happen this month. Again, I did a video, said that I asked, could we have a currency revaluation in July? It's possible. We're deporting a lot of foreign nationals here, not because anybody's xenophobic or racist or anything, but because a lot of people that were here, and we're not only taking resources from we the American people, but a lot of people that were here with the H-1B visas were here on fake medical degrees, fake college degrees. We did podcasts on that. Or they came here with money already and they created businesses as shell corporations where they were laundering money, children, and drugs. So these people have to be deported. Unfortunately, some people that maybe were not malevolent, maybe some people gonna get caught in a crossfire. That's what happens in the middle of a war. So if we have an emergency broadcast system announcement, or we have National Guard to tell us that everybody has to be in the house through a curfew, everybody needs to comply, or else you could be caught in a crossfire, just like what happened during the shutdown in 2020. We were told to stay in the house. Remember that? We had a curfew. I don't know what happened in your city, but at the time I was living in Louisville, Kentucky, the National Guard was on the ground. They told everybody to be in the house at 9 p.m. There were people that said they weren't going to stay in the house. They partied. They had cookouts, barbecues. People were out just walking the streets, roaming the streets, thought they didn't have to obey. But there was a war going on where the National Guard was actually arresting people so they couldn't have people on the street. People wanted to be on the street anyway. And then when National Guard would say, go in the house, there's a curfew. People start throwing bottles. People start yelling and screaming. So the National Guard shot rubber bullets, pellets, and people got hit with rubber pellets because they did not follow instructions. I want to encourage everybody, follow instructions, because we're hearing that certain cities are experiencing tests of the emergency broadcast system coming on their phones. And that will lead to allegedly the real deal, where the emergency broadcast system announcement actually could happen and shut down the country and maybe the world. Somebody said, we hear move your money, but where? Some people say move your money, but some people say leave it there enough in the bank in order to pay your bills, but always have something on hand, some cash on hand, because you never know if the banks, like say everybody, if there's a shutdown and maybe the ATM cards won't work for a short period of time or whatever. And even if the system is being tested, you always want to have some cash on hand so that you can barter or do business, and put it in a safe place in your house, under the ground, in a wall, somewhere. So you don't want to necessarily move all your money, but I will tell you this: what people in the know do is some of them leave enough money in the bank to pay bills. They'll take some cash on hand so that they can barter or do business in case everything shuts down, or they'll keep a little cash in their hand in case there's a buying opportunity to, buy some land or something, because land is going to be less expensive than it is now. So you leave enough money to pay the bill. Some people are saying to take out enough cash, because you always want to have an emergency amount anyway on hand in case the bank shut down or you can't get to the bank or the ATM stopped working for whatever reason. And you can also put current fiat dollars in silver and gold. That's why I've been talking about silver and gold for a decade now, over a decade. You could, even if you don't have a lot of money, get gold RM notes, also called gold backs. You can go to JM Bullion, SD Bullion, Money Metals Mint, goldback.com, all these different companies, and get gold backs. That's 24 karat gold pressed onto a note that's used to buy local goods and services. It's used right now as legal tender. And you can do it now because what I tell you earlier, July 2024, the Supreme Court of the United States said state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system and issue out their own gold-backed currency. They were preparing for this. Also, 45 states here in America, as of today, have reclaimed silver and gold as money. How did they do that? They used the tools of the deep state. They passed legislation to remove the sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. When you remove taxes from silver and gold, you are acknowledging that silver and gold can't be taxed. You are acknowledging that silver and gold is no longer deemed as a commodity in your state or a collectible, but in fact, silver and gold is lawful and legal tender and lawful money. So legislatures were very smart. They pushed bills and passed legislation to remove the taxes from the sales of precious metals. So now they're acknowledging that silver and gold is legal tender. So get gold backs if you can. And if you want to, you can go to your local coin shop right now and see if they have gold backs. Gold backs are about $8 for one gold back. That's real 24 karat gold on a note. And it's a certain troy ounce of gold. I used to call it gold RM notes. I used to get flagged for talking about that too. What are gold backs? So I'm answering your question. If you remove money from the banks, what do you get? You get gold, you get silver, bullion, you get gold bullion, you get gold RM notes. I have a video that's public that says this is how you trade or barter using silver and gold, because right now you can use silver and gold to buy local goods and services. If you don't have a lot of money, gold back notes are $8. But get cash, because there'll be somebody, cash out the bank. There'll be somebody that will barter with you if we have a shutdown, or if the banks stop working. I'm asking, what are gold backs? Look at this. When I first started talking about it, people did not know that they could believe it. Because it wasn't publicized. Back then, there were 14 states that had legalized silver and gold as legal tender. 13. And I was reporting on it. People were like, well, that ain't enough, or that don't mean anything. Well, now we have 45 states. Gold backs are physical spendable gold notes designed for local bartering and everyday transactions. Instead of buying massive gold coins or bars, users can break down 24 karat gold into highly specific fractional weights. They act as a voluntary local currency in states with specific legal tender acts. And it says like Utah, Nevada, New Hampshire, Wyoming, South Dakota, and Florida. But there are more, where thousands of participating merchants accept them for local goods and services. When I was talking on this, it wasn't Money Metals hadn't done this. There was no goldback.com website. But they would stop us from speaking over here because we were forecasting ahead of time. When am I forecasting ahead of time now? That the wealth transfer is here. It's going to expedite. It's going to happen quicker. Iraq is mentioned that they're going to inject 600 billions of dollars into our economy through trade deals. We have a sovereign wealth fund. Other nations have a sovereign wealth fund. I reported to you about universal high income, and how universal high income is a monthly allotment of cash, or cash money coming to each person on the planet. That's going to happen. We're forecasting the news before it happens. Because gold backs represent, where am I? The smallest fractional gold units available. They serve as practical, universally recognized medium of exchange in a worst case scenario or economic crisis. Gold backs actually act just like gold. It's a protection against inflation. They hold intrinsic value because it's real gold, and track this daily spot price of gold. If you do that, then you could track the daily spot price, how much gold is worth. Then you can figure out how much your gold back is worth based on how the spot prices raise or decline, how they fluctuate. Budget-friendly investment. They provide an extremely accessible entry point for beginners wanting to start a physical precious metal stack without paying thousands of dollars all at once. Because manufacturing gold backs require vacuum layering microscopic amounts of gold onto polymer film, they carry a higher premium over spot price than traditional bullion. However, you can use these to buy local goods and services, gold backs. Local merchants accept gold backs in many different states. You can go to goldback.com. I first introduced my, it's been well over a year now. It's going on 2 years, my private group, to goldback.com and how to barter with gold and what gold backs looks like. But I've been talking about gold backs for over 10 years. Back then they were $1. Now they're $8 for one gold back. So you want to have gold, they're $8.03. You want to have gold backs or silver and gold in the event that you want to, I'll say you can have gold backs, gold and silver, in the event that you don't want to hold fiat dollars in the bank. Or you can use this as a way to have both dollars in the bank, fiat dollars, and silver and gold on hand. So here is the gold. If you go to goldback.com, gold, right, one gold note is $8.03. This is a groundbreaking, innovative technology that is used as alternative currency, where they put 24 karat gold onto this here polymer for everyday transactions, putting purchasing power directly in your hands. The website says it shows you where to buy them. You can click on the link where to buy. It tells you, you can click on the link what to tell me more about it. And there are places if you can click on where it will tell you which merchants in your state accept gold backs. What are you doing here, Kia? I'm preparing you for the wealth transfer. Money is about to start flowing into your quantum accounts. Now we're getting rid of fiat currency, and now we're going to be using silver and gold, including gold backs, and digital assets or digital coins. That's what people call cryptocurrencies. But this is the reason why we reported earlier, and you can find an article that says that the United States Treasury Department agreed with Trump, approved Trump's plan to phase out paper currency and use gold and cryptocurrencies instead, or gold and digital currencies instead. Let me see if I can find that. Here it is. See if I can find it. Oh, now they have all kind of Snoops articles out that says it's not true, but here's an article. Whenever you report on the news, mainstream media will do what they can to censor it. So some articles will say it's not true, okay? Snopes or Snoops, whatever they're called, they'll say we fact check it and this is not true, but I reported it as soon as it happened. And here's one of the articles that support my claim. United States Treasury approves President Trump's plan to phase out all paper money in favor of crypto. Really, that's digital assets and gold coins. The days of pulling a crumbled 20 bill out of your wallet may be numbered, as the Treasury Department greenlit a sweeping monetary overhaul that will replace all paper currency. No longer can these people that's been laundering money trade money for, you know what, Ildren Che. We're speaking in pig life for little ones. They could launder money. They could use cryptocurrency. They could use what were they using? What crypto were they using? Bitcoin. But all that's been overtaken, and they were using dollars. No, now they're phasing out paper currencies, and the new quantum system is actually heavily monitored. So no more trading of anything using paper dollars. The plan calls for a full phase out of paper money in favor of two new official forms of payment: a coin, a blockchain-based digital currency, and a line of gold coins embossed with president's likeness. So those are gold coins, and also physical gold. That's why the Supreme Court said that state-sponsored banks can issue out their own gold-backed currencies. This is why 45 states here in America removed or repealed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. So then now we were freeing up metals to be used as lawful money. Some people are concerned that if you have a centralized coin that people are using, like through the banks or the wealth management center, that those centralized coins could be the CBDC. So to that, I would say, don't use it. Or use whatever avenue you can to buy real silver and gold backs and barter with those instead of the digital coins. Whatever system they have in place, you can use it or you can circumvent and work around it. But I will tell you that states all across America have rejected CBDC, central bank digital currencies, that were initially designed to control the masses by using their world order principles and making everybody get a chip. That has been outlawed by most of the states, maybe all of them by now. I've been following that, but I haven't looked up the final numbers. States are rejecting central bank digital currencies, and the chip that comes along with it is saying they're unlawful and unconstitutional. You can work at the state level and you can expedite this process, but you can also do your best to get gold backs or silver and or gold to the best of your ability. You can do it now, or you can wait till you get access to your estate until and you can wait until the funds have been released through the Sovereign Wealth Fund Trust and other funds. 583 people in the chat. Hit the like button, family. Yes, Chase made a deal to open up banks in Iraq. In fact, they won the bid. They won the bid about a year or two ago. But thank you. If Chief Rod okay, you haven't seen him post. You know, I was wondering that too. I'll check and I'll call him, okay, sister, brother Victor. You see, yeah, he's from Detroit. There was smoke all over Detroit. Oh wow. You sent me a direct message, Sister Crystal, showing Elon Musk saying unemployment is at an all-time high, and they have to start. Thank you, the UBI soon. Did we say it? Did we say it, sis? So thank you for. Let me see if I can find that, and then I'm going to go to my private group around 3. What is universal high income? Universal high income is a term that is popularized by Elon Musk, but it was actually termed by economists that it's different from universal basic income. A universal basic income is an allotment of money that comes from the government that will offset your basic needs or help you with your basic needs like food, shelter, et cetera, et cetera. Universal high income is a significant amount of money that we are proposing to give to every person on the planet. They're calling it a futuristic economic concept that means that an allotment, cash allotment, or a significant amount of money will be given into everybody, put into everybody's account. And the reason for that is because with the advent and the movement of AI, artificial intelligence, you're going to have an abundance or a surplus of goods and services. So to account for that, you have to give people money because AI is taking over jobs. You're going to have a surplus of goods and services. People won't work anymore. Now you're going to have luxury goods that are going to be produced. So how are people going to pay for that unless you give them an allotment of money? But we really know that what's happening, that is happening. But beyond that, what's happening is the deep state, the United States Incorporated, including a lot of these foreign entities that were here working with the deep state, they've had their assets frozen. They've been arrested. They're going through military tribunals, and the money that they've stolen from our country, and they've been stealing from all of our trusts, is now being returned back to us. And now we will have access to those benefits, access to your birth certificate bond, access to all your bonds that were securitized and traded on the New York Stock Exchange, accruing interest, making money, put into a trust. Now we'll have access to that. So you got us having access to our trust now, all these entities being taken off the planet. And if they're human, they're being arrested. And then you're going to have the sovereign wealth funds all over the world released. And then all of the big countries that have been doing business with each other, they're going to be giving some of their wealth to each other. They're going to be sharing rare earth minerals, gold, silver, real estate, and doing oil deals and all type of transactions. You have to watch my video where I said, this is Trump's plan to make sure every country's on a level playing field. President Trump said under his first administration, as it relates to the devaluation of currencies, I've been concerned about that for a long time, but now I'm going to employ a mechanism to make sure every country is on a level playing field. That's the only way to do this. You have to do this. I have a short clip of him saying that, and then I have a longer video of me explaining that. So he said, he said, it's the only way we can do. Got to make sure everything's equitable. Everybody's fair. It's a short clip. And then I did a longer video that I say, this is Trump's plan of making sure every country is on a level playing field. And in that video, I explained exactly what he is doing and has done to make sure every country is now in agreement to do business with each other, to barter and trade, and to give each other wealth, to pay each other for these peace deals. But first, let me talk about universal high income. Thank you you said you sent me that. I'll look and see. Crystal, is your name Crystal on Facebook? So I can find that article. I've done several videos on universal high income families, so you can look for those. This is a futuristic economic concept popularized by Elon Musk. It proposes that massive productivity gains from AI, artificial intelligence, and robotics will allow governments to issue high unconditional cash payments to all citizens. Sounds like Nasara. Do you know it's very hard for me even to talk about Nasara without getting flagged now? It used to happen, then I was able to post about Nasara. Now talk about Nasara or universal high income publicly. If I put it in my title, that'll get flagged. Not only that, my name can get flagged. For example, I did a podcast with the young elder, and he put my name in the title, interview with Dr. Kia Pruitt. He may be able to use my name now, I don't know, but this happened last week. They flagged him for putting my name in. He got notification. They flagged him for using my name in the title. He took my name out the title. He was able to publish the video. So same thing happened with me. I put my name in the title. I got flagged. He said, take your name out the title. I did, and I was able to post. AI is triggering sensitive words, including Dr. Kia Pruitt, because I'm given the forecast. I'm anointed by God, just like you are. We are messiahs. Messiah means the anointed one, the chosen one. Now you have to make your calling and election sure by fulfilling your purpose, and that's what I'm doing. We are chosen to liberate humanity. Somebody put freedom now in the comment section. Hashtag freedom now. We're liberating the planet by forecasting what's happening and what's going to happen. We're telling the people that we're about to all be free, and we're giving them the ideas and the tools to liberate themselves. Yes, we're going to all have money into our own global accounts. If you want additional money, if you want to pass down wealth to your posterity, you can accumulate silver and gold, precious metals, and foreign currencies. But universal high income envisions post-scarcity wealth, where all materials needs are met. Post means after. Post-scarcity. Now, the whole scarcity mindset, the whole scarcity era, where we couldn't have access to our trust, there was not enough money, they were taxing us so much that they were taking away everything, we didn't have enough income to live. That we're in that post-scarcity era, and now in an era of wealth. You have to know it, accept what I'm saying as reality, and start preparing for it, because it's here. We are about to experience the greatest wealth transfer on earth. Not only is wealth being transferred or passed down from the baby boomers who are transitioning out of here, passing on, but all those jobs and all that money that they leave behind will come back into the economy and back into the families. But additionally, all those foreign nationals that were here, living here unlawfully and illegally, have to go back home. They're being arrested. They're having their assets frozen, and those assets are coming right back into the global economy. You will have access to the homes now that were stolen from you, the land that was stolen from you. All of that, all the money we paid to the IRS is coming back to us. Everything we paid with rent, everything we paid in mortgages, all these fines, all that's coming back to we the people. Know it, okay? Whether you believe it or not is not my business, okay? I'm not concerned about beliefs. Know it. Tell yourself, abundance is my birthright. Take on the abundance mentality instead of the scarcity mentality. They fed us with the rhetoric, there's not enough stuff, abundance or wealth on the planet. They fed us with the rhetoric, there's 9 billion people on the planet, therefore we got to eliminate through doing certain things in the medicines, or force people to take certain JABs, right? We already know that do the Bilderberg Depopulation Conference, Bill Gates said that we're approaching 9 billion people on the planet. In order to remedy this problem, we have to first attack Africa and eliminate that population through the jab. And they did the same thing here in America, right? And they still doing it, trying to force you to take certain things. So they told us that the reason for that was because there's not enough materials on the planet. That's a scarcity mindset. The deep state's always going to be in control. Scarcity mindset. Pruitt, you're selling hopium. That's a scarcity mindset. Pruitt is never going to happen. Scarcity mindset. What's an abundance mindset? An abundance mindset, we're doing a paradigm shift here, is abundance is my birthright. I am the Messiah. A Messiah is the anointed one, a messenger. Look up the word. It's not only the Christ. The Christ is about Christ consciousness, having your Christo consciousness, your awareness awakened. What awareness? That you are gods. You are literal gods, beings. You came from source, from God or a source that is experiencing itself in flesh and carnality. Ye are gods is what many scriptures say. When you know I am God, I am the creator of my own reality. Abundance is my birthright. There's enough wealth on this planet. I'm going to have access to my wealth. That reality will manifest even quicker. It's going to happen. That's why people that are here from other lands are worried, because they're being deported. They're trying to hold on to the wealth that belongs to you here in America and abroad. It's happening in other countries too. Foreigners are in everybody's lands trying to get access to somebody else's wealth in abundance. Well, the good news is now everybody is returning home so they can access their sovereign wealth funds, because every nation has it. Let me see if I can find what Sister Crystal sent me. And then we're going to go to the private group. I'm going to show an extended version of that video where the banker was saying that the wealth transfer is here. We're going to have an emergency broadcast system announcement. He breaks it all down. And he talks about how money is moving. And what else did he talk about? How you need to prepare. I'm going to show that in my private group. Hit the join button and you'll be in. We're going to start that at 3:00. Sister Crystal, I don't see your inbox. But I have hundreds. Sometimes I have so many I can't keep up. So universal high income is now being discussed widely. Sister Crystal, self-love, what did you send? Did you send it to my private? My personal YouTube, my personal Facebook is DRKIA, one word, and then space Pruitt. My business page is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Which one did you send it to? So Sister Crystal says she sent me a DM showing where Elon Musk is saying unemployment is at an all-time high and they'll have to start universal high income. It's here. Shauna says our internet in Henderson, Nevada was out for 4 hours. No TV or internet. We're going to talk about that in the private group too. They did raid the VA, okay, over 1 trillion, or is it quadrillion, in phony claims. Wow, thank you. It's happening, family. The Tate brothers have been arrested. Who are the Tate brothers? Tate brothers arrested. Oh, those Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan. Woo-wee. People would just, we have to be careful of the podcasters that are pushing certain agendas, because what they will do is they will cause division. So the Tate brothers were talking about, how women are masculine and aggressive. I don't know what else. They were doing a lot of nefarious things allegedly as well. They were actually trafficking women allegedly. I had somebody in my family was telling me, they were like, don't believe what people are saying. The Tate brothers are benevolent because they're spreading some truth about, the Trump administration cleaning up the deep state. They're not going to tell you the Trump administration is cleaning them up. My son told me that. He said they allegedly traffic women. The men in the manosphere know this, but now men are jumping on the bandwagon that the Tate brothers were when they were sharing this rhetoric that women have become so aggressive that men need to decenter from women. Now, we do know that a lot of women have become very, concerned with working and taking care of their families. And, a lot of us don't get along with men, and men have reported that we become more aggressive. Because women have tapped into that masculine part of them in order to survive. And then women have been inundated with rhetoric and propaganda to behave a certain way. So what you did is you had podcasters to take advantage of men and women not getting along and feeding a bunch of rhetoric to men and women about how they should behave. The Tate brothers were well known for saying that a lot of women are not marriageable. Now, while that could be the case in some instances, what happened where you had a lot of women get angry, you had a lot of men feed into that rhetoric, and now they started the podcast called The Red Pill, and they expanded the manosphere to decenter from women. Then you had women now coming on saying we need to decenter from men, and all this bickering back and forth kept us from focusing on the family. So what you'll have is podcasters that come on here and then they tell a little bit of truth or tell a lot of truth, but at the same time doing nefarious things because it was reported before they got on these podcasts and act like they were so concerned about men that they were trafficking women. And they're not even American, allegedly. Thank you for sharing this. So the Tate brothers were arrested. You're going to find a lot of other podcasters that's been pushing gender wars. They're going to get arrested as well. Andrew and Tristan Tate were arrested by United States Marshals in Miami, Florida. The arrest follows an extradition request from the United Kingdom, where authorities issued 38 new sex crime and trafficking charges against them. I said it. That was what they were allegedly doing before they were popular podcasters that were conservatives, and they came across as being concerned about the well-being of men, and therefore they need to talk about this issue with women. Now, it is true that a lot of us women have become very strong-willed and strong-minded, and as it is true that a lot of our men have had their issues. Some people say a lot of men have become demasculized, or is that the word you said? More feminized through the food, through the music, through the rhetoric. We have a lot of problems where men and women are not getting along. But I did a podcast yesterday that talks about how the deep state benefits from gender wars. So we have to be mindful of who we listen to. People are going to tell the truth. What they're doing is they're feeding on the fears and the trauma of women and feeding on the fears and the trauma of men to cause us to go against each other. And they'll tell you one way of doing things is better. It's better to decenter men. Whether they say decenter men, do away with men, be single, I'd rather choose a bear than a man. All that rhetoric has been interjected into social media by the deep state and podcasters who don't have your best interest at heart. And then you have other podcasters who want to make money, who would jump on the bandwagon, and now everybody's in flux. And you have gender wars, people not coming together to make love and take care of the children that they made. But it's all coming to an end. Thank you for telling me that the Tate brothers got arrested. More people you're gonna see more people be arrested. You're gonna see some people disappear. The people that's been talking about women decentering from men, how that you don't need a man, how we need to all just have female-dominated societies. They're going to disappear. Mark my words. Because you need both. Just like it took both to make a child, it takes both to raise a child. And there's a law, a universal law that says we are both masculine and feminine. The masculine and the feminine principle are both important, and they must work together synergistically in harmony with each other. That's how plants are grown. You got the seed, and then you got the seed plants itself into the of the flower or of the tree into the female. Animals procreate. Humans, all mammals procreate. We need both. You have the rhetoric that we need to saying we need to decenter from men. We need to take over. We need to take charge. Be careful of that type of lingo. Be careful of the lingo where men need to decenter from women. Men need to go their own way. Men going their own way. Be careful of these podcasters who will say, well, act like they're Black in order to cause chaos in the Black community. They'll be African and pretend like they're American and they're not. They'll be Caribbean, which is part of America, but they're not from this landmass. That will be paid agents. And there'll be Middle Eastern Arabs. Like that Myron guy. What's his name? Myron somebody that was on this podcast. That's kind of like what the Tate brothers were doing. Tate brothers are not American. I don't care if they do have a little tint to their skin. You have Middle East. Myron Gaines was his. Why was he trying to take on an American name like Myron? Byron. Those are names you might find in the Black community. Why did they take on the persona of African Americans and then take to the mic on a podcast to talk about how men and women need to decenter from each other? Because they were paid agents. Just like the musicians I talked about in the earlier podcast, and the artists and the entertainers, a lot of newscasters, a lot of people in politics, a lot of actors and actresses. They're not even American. They're not North American, indigenous, copper-colored, autogenous people from this landmass. Paid agents from other continents with brown skin that come on this podcast, on these platforms, or interject themselves all over the place so they can cause chaos. It's not just people from other places, China, Russia, East India. It's almost the whole planet of people that have been used, not in mass, but certain agents of them that were paid to come here and cause chaos and confusion. Well, at this time, they're being arrested and they're going to go away. Now, I'm going to end here, but I'm going to leave you with a word of encouragement. Their time is up. As we have 700 people on the chat, 800 people, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Their time is up and they have to go. Let's get our emotions in check. A lot of people are here that had businesses. Some of us have forged relationships with them, business relationship, and maybe even just a relationship where we bartered with them and we patronized their businesses. But we didn't know that many of them were gaining access to our trust and they were getting government benefits while they were living on our lands. And we also didn't know that they were part of the plot to unalive Americans, starting with the indigenous people erroneously classified as Black. That's why they have their fake medical degrees working in the hospitals here. And that's why we have a high number of misdiagnoses, not only in all areas in the American society and United States citizens, but especially in the Black community, because they're paid agents that are practicing on us, taking our organs. I've never seen so many women classified as Black have hysterectomies as I had over the last 10 years, because they're taking the organs of the melanated woman because they want those genetics that the people that were paid agents over here, they can give to their overlords who are not even human beings. If you missed my podcast I did with the young elder a couple of days ago, you want to watch that, because he talks about how these people in power, the controllers are not even human. So they paid agents working in the hospitals, they're working in the school systems, they're driving our children to school in the buses, they're working in politics, they're working all over every segment of our societies so they can take over and control humanity and steal our organs and steal our energy, extrapolate our energy. When you're angry or you're stressed out or you're afraid, you're fighting each other, the man and the woman, you're saying one is better than the other. No, one is, well, I'm decentering from this one. I don't like that one. All that trauma-based anger and rhetoric causes you to emit a psychic energy called loosh, Loosh. And that's what these entities in power absorb and eat food, because they're not human. And they interject their rhetoric, their propaganda, their programming, and they allow us to fight with each other. They pay these podcasters. Why these podcasters, like whoever, the Myron Gaines guy, he had a show. I can't think of the name of his show. And the Tate brothers and all these and Pearl, the Caucasian woman that was telling brothers to stay away from women because these women are arrogant and these women are aggressive and these women, and have all people looking like me on her show. You're a Caucasian woman talking about what's going on in my community, and we were feeding into that. Paid agents. And then everyday people jump on the bandwagon. And now our families are in flux. Our children are stressed out, depressed, frustrated, committing suicide at high levels, shooting each other in the streets, failing from school, giving teachers such a hard time. Teachers all over the place en masse are resigning, retiring early. Look all over YouTube. Teachers are saying, I can't take it anymore. Because we don't have two parents working together. I brought Tim Pruitt on my show, my brother, the other day, and I reran that show earlier today, of him saying it takes two. Even if the parents don't stay together, it takes two to raise these children. Two at the very least. The village needs to raise these children. But we've been fighting each other, talking about which one is more important. The man is more important. The woman is more important. We don't need each other, and the children are suffering. Because you sure need each other when you're laying on your back or when you're humping over on top of a woman and you're getting your rocks off. You sure need each other then, but you can't need each other to make the child. And then we want to get on these platforms and complain. Well, my son's father don't want to help me. Well, my son's mother is this, that, and other. Well, then get off the podcast, turn off the computer and the cell phone, and go and make that relationship right. Because it took two to lay down and make that baby. And if one person, if just one of us, whether it's the man or the woman, come to the table respectfully and taking accountability for what our part of whatever the disagreement was, and we try to get along. We try to do what's in the best interest of the children. My brother Tim Pruitt told us how to do that. He has a master's degree in leadership, a degree in management. He is a male mentor. He develops males. He rites of passage programs. He's working in prison with the hardest of men, mitigating and working through problems and bringing about solutions, working with families. He told us how we can do it. Somebody has to put down the gun. Somebody has to turn off the television, turn off the computer and the phone, and stop listening to these podcasters. That's only instigating the issue, the problem, and creating a divide between men and women. Because the children are suffering, family. And the people in power, they're the ones making money. I'm trying to find a video where I say that billionaires are profiting from the chaos. Billionaires are profiting. People in power are profiting from the gender wars. Where is that? It's somewhere on my YouTube channel. Oh, here it is. I'm going to show it to you. Thank you for 700 people being in the chat. Here, how the elite profit from gender wars, men versus women, is a distraction. And then I have, where are the men? When my brother spoke 3 days ago, and I re-aired that today. And I called it, under the video section, I called it, where are the men? Again, EBS, how men serve and add value to the family, wealth, and legacy. So I'm going to show the rest of that video on my private group, where there is a former banker that says the emergency broadcast system is coming, and he goes into detail of what's going on. Some of the things I aired to you all earlier in this podcast, and I want to give thanks to our moderator for sharing that video with me. We need treasurers arrested. Oh. Let me see what you all are saying. Do I think that TD Bank will be affected? TD Bank, I'm not sure. You can ask your bank if it's Basel III compliant. They're putting it on ledgers, but that is a nano. Oh, the people that are hiding their money? Hiding money will tell you something is going on for sure. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Janine. Billionaires are hiding money, family. Oh, Chief Max said, folks are going to be so sick when they find out that they missed out on the greatest wealth transfer. It's here, family. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So I'm going to go to the private group now and I'm going to share uh, more information in a video where it is being discussed that the EBS is going to happen likely in a few days and that the wealth transfer is happening right now. There's some rhetoric that says that we can revalue, that currency revalue. We know currencies are being revalued, but we might be going to the banks to exchange our currencies very soon. Some say it could happen in July. Who's had health issues? Oh, Simply Lynn is gone. Where did Simply Lynn on YouTube go? I didn't know she was gone. She's had health issues. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know. When people get their birthright, nobody will live in apartments. Nope. Sure won't. See, this is the scarcity mentality or doubt. The United States of America will not do the gold standard. I love to see it. Okay. Well, then please tell me why King's World, or maybe you just don't know. Okay, let me see. There's a King's World article. Here it is. So, first of all, can we all agree that America is part of the world? To the person that said the United States of America will not go to the gold standard. Okay, if we can agree that the United States of America is part of the world, why did King's World publish an article in February 2023 that says the world is hurtling back toward gold as money? And it goes into how Russia and some of the other Asian nations have agreed to stop trading with the dollar. And that was part of a plan to get other people to join the BRICS Union so that they could peg their own local currencies to gold. See, I want you to change your mindset because what you've been told in the past is not always true, or it doesn't have to be true for this new reality. I want you to change your mindset if you think it can never happen, okay? There are also articles, let's see, that show how states here in America pass laws. We're up to 45 states. I've done so many videos on it. You could just look up gold and my videos will pop up on my show. Here's one. State laws can help restore gold and silver as money. And not only can they do it, they are doing it by passing legislature to repeal state sales tax from the precious metals. So it might look like the United States won't go to the gold standard, but we're already there, my darling. This is why the Supreme Court, let me see, ruled that state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system. And I'll let you look that up yourself because I'm already late for my show. So we are going to the gold standard, dear. Yes, we are. Our lawful government is the republic. Silver is less expensive than gold. You can get silver for like $55 per ounce, or you can get sterling silver which is 92% silver. You can get constitutional silver, which is 90% silver. Those are coins minted before 1964. All merchants recognize silver as money, and especially constitutional silver. And if the you know what hits the fan, you always say you can use constitutional silver. They erroneously call it junk silver. Silver coins minted before 1964, 90% silver. But sterling silver you can get from pawn shop, you can get from all type of places. Certain silver jewelry, your appliances, TV, cell phone, they all have silver. Your catalytic converter has platinum or palladium and silver. So the greatest wealth transfer in history is about to happen. It's happening now. It's too much fool's gold out here being used like gold. Well, so what you should do if you're concerned about fool's gold is you contact a legitimate gold company, such as Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company, with whom I'm an affiliate, but there are others online. You can contact Andy Scheckman or Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company at 952-929-7006, 952-929-7006, or you can leave them an email at info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you, and you'll get the best prices in the industry. This is pure gold. Troy ounce of gold if you get 1 ounce, but pure gold. 0.9999 pure gold. That's the way. You go to a reputable online dealer. You can go to your local coin shop too. You can even have them to test the gold before you take it. So we'll get gold backs for, say, a silver coin. You can go get gold backs with your fiat dollars right now. You listen. There's a sale being ran on foreign currencies right now. There's literally a sale on precious metals right now because the precious metals prices have decreased so much. In fact, precious metals prices could fluctuate. It's past 5 o'clock. The markets, forex markets, and other markets on the other side of the world open at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, our time. You literally could go to sleep tonight and wake up Monday morning to a whole new reality. Okay, so get you some silver and gold while the prices are low if you're so inclined. Oops, bug came in my face. Or get some gold backs, foreign currency, something, because the wealth transfer is happening. Silver is about to jump way high. I agree with you, Dana. I'm just alerting you, family, that something's about to go down. Oh, silver just came up a little bit. It was almost $54. It's $56 now. And gold is $4,033. That's still significantly lower than what it had been because gold was $5,300 an ounce earlier this year. But now it's $4,033. That's $1,300 difference. Silver is $56. It was $130 per ounce earlier this year. This is a discount if it's in your budget. If it's not, gold backs, gold RM notes. I showed you at goldback.com. One gold note, $8. And he also tells you that this website will show you how to take the value of the gold back and put it in terms where you can know how much goods and services to buy. This is a great website. Even if you don't get gold backs, educate yourself. The thing about listening to my podcast or other podcasts that are informative or doing your own research is that you are preparing yourself for a new reality. You are putting this information in your conscious and subconscious mind so that when the time is right, you can move accordingly. Thank you. Marley says you should check with your state banks and credit unions to see what type of currencies can be used to pay bills. Gold, silver, and gold backs are hard currencies that you can hold. And we will have other currencies that will be issued out allegedly. So we're told by the United States Treasury Department, not the Federal Reserve, that will be backed by gold and silver. This is why the one article says that the Treasury Department approved Trump's plans to phase out paper currency, but then, and they use gold and silver. But then we also heard that they allowed Trump to be the first living president, to have his own currency backed by gold. So there'll be new current, and that will come out by the Treasury Department. There may be other currencies coming out by the Treasury Department backed by gold. CAG 247 said Chief Rod Hayes said that when we get closer to things going down, he will step away from social media. He sure did. He sure did. We have to say what we desire to happen. Thank you, Dana. We are ushering in the golden era is here. We're free. We're liberated now. We're sovereign. We're ushering that in. Thank you for saying I have good music. We are wealthy. We're going to have access to our trust. We're all going to tap into wealth, and we're all going to be extremely healthy, wealthy, and wise. We're all going to thrive. We have universal high income. We have sovereign wealth fund. We have access to our trust. We have all debts that are going to be wiped away. All debt, all credit card debt, mortgages, student loan debt. In fact, I reported a couple of weeks ago that tens of thousands of people reported that their student loans were actually wiped away, and more are going to come, more are going to happen. What I'm saying is the raw truth. Thank you. You saw Chief Rod Hayes do a video recently. Looked like he's doing well. That's good. So some of us have done podcasts with him, but they're saying he stepped away. Maybe they're saying from his Facebook page. I'm glad he's doing well. Go to the U.S. Mint site and type in Silver Liberty, ½ ounce. That's a way to force silver. Thank you. Rothschilds and Rockefellers, goodbye. Chief Max says a worldwide jubilee is going to happen. Hello, Sister Kim. That doesn't sound true because some people took the jab and didn't make it. Some of them didn't make it. I don't know what you're saying. Doesn't sound true. Yeah, some of them didn't. And thankfully, we have advanced technology now, and we have med beds coming out for those of you that did take it. What you say? The way it should be, FB, Rumble, we should have gotten a dividend. The chosen, we are the chosen ones. Freedom now in the comment section, family. Freedom now. I love it. Somebody says Agent Smiths are on your behind, Dr. K. Freedom now. Freedom now. And you know what? We know this to be true. This is a whole new era. As Chief Max says, you are God's. We are in power now. So go, if you are interested, go to my private group, and we're going to show a full video of for former bankers saying that the currency revaluations are about to happen very, very soon, likely in July, possibly. Everything is done before September. I'm going to tell you in the private group why September. I've been reporting for years why September. Everything will be done by September. But July, hopefully, we see a revaluation of currencies being manifested. We know it's happening behind the scenes, but we should be going to the banks if you have currencies. He gives a lot of intel, and I'm going to show you proof that it is actually happening. But when I tried to put that video up, it got flagged. So go join my private group. Ye Are God said, I'm hearing August 1st to the 3rd, banks will be shutting down for the revaluation. Tate brothers are red pill pushing the gender divide. Yes, they were. The Tate brothers just got arrested. Somebody told us that. And they were pushing a gender divide. Some people were like, oh no, they're good. They know that they're Republicans, they're conservatives. They know that the deep state is being taken down. Yeah, because they were part of it. And so they were telling a little bit of good information about the deep state being taken down, but they were pushing gender divide, and they just been arrested. And somebody in the chat told us that they were arrested. Other people are going to be arrested, or they just going to disappear from social media. Some people will disappear because they're tired and their time for, talking is up. But you're going to be able to see a lot of people actually go down, take brothers arrested by U.S. Marshals in Miami. Myron Gaines might be next. He was causing a racial divide. The wealth of the wicked is being transferred back to we the people. Absolutely, Chief. Those brothers, yep, they were disinformation agents. Thank you, Chief Mac. We agree. We're not surprised. Both of them wearing dark shades tells you that they were agents. Oh, thank you. Yes, some of our men were emasculated. Thank you. I was looking for that word earlier. So, Chief Mac, you're in the house. We're about to go over to our private group to show that video. Anybody pushing division among men and women on these platforms are disinformation agents, Chief Mac said. So, Chief, it's happening where the transfer is here, the wealth transfer is here. We're hearing that we'll be able to, while everything's shut down, it'll be time for people to go to the banks, kind of like what happened to Iraq. How much is the private group? You have to go to I'll put it. You have to go to the YouTube channel. You have to go to my YouTube channel, hit the join button or any of the join. If I can see if I can find it, and click the button, follow the prompts, and you'll be in. Let's see if I can find where that, but any place that says join, you can join. You can hit the buttons and you could join and be in. We're going to go over that video there in the group, but y'all should see the video Chief Mac did yesterday in the group. He was dropping all type of jewels, how we need to move so we can operate in the private. It was so good. We're very appreciative. We've had special guests to come into the group to share information about currency exchanges. We got information about protocols, what you need to take to the bank, and this stuff that we only put in a private group because everybody's not interested in that. They don't want to hear about stuff like that. And I don't want to get flagged on my public channel and be told that I'm spreading rumors. I've had people report my channel, for many things, and I just don't want to deal with that. Chief Mac, I sent you a link. You want to give any final words before we go to the private group? Be mindful of any YouTuber wearing monarch butterflies. I never knew about monarch butterflies. I've heard of monarch butterflies, but I never knew of anybody wearing them on YouTube. Well, I do report truthful news, and I show you evidence of whatever I report based on the articles, videos, that type of thing. Many are following agents claiming to be us. I agree. And sometimes we get caught up in our emotions and we just follow people because it sounds good, not even knowing that they could do the whole switcheroo. Some people come out of nowhere. You're like, where'd you come from? Like, I know we've been reporting the news for a long time. It's been 10 years for me. And then my channels got shut down and other people just came out of nowhere. But I'm back and I'm grateful for that. You're welcome. Somebody you're welcome. Robin says, thank you for helping us. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Freedom now in the comments section. To all disinformation agents, Your time is running short. I know who you are, and the people are on to you. Ooh, because we're not fighting against flesh and blood. Chief, you got any final words before we get out of here and go to the private group? We're, we're fighting a spiritual warfare. Dewey says, I know for a fact they were trying to delete me in the ER a few years ago, in the same hospital my brother passed away. We have so many testimonies of people being deleted in hospitals and forced onto certain machines and put through certain practices and procedures that they didn't agree to or the family didn't agree to, that it's egregious. Thank you for being a new member, Sister Shelley. Welcome. Creator bless you with long life, prosperity, and peace. You're going to be so pleased with the information we share. I ask the membership all the time, is it worth it? Is it valuable? Do I give you the information you need? They say yes. Plus, we have camaraderie in the group where people stay in touch with each other. And I tell them, tell me what I need to do to make sure we stay informed. Anything you need me to look into, I will look into it. And we do that. Single family homes, Thompson says, are really horrible. Single parent homes are. They can be horrible. Feelings are more important than facts in some of our single parent homes. And we have to do what's in the best interest of the children. Dr. Kia, did you see where the FBI took down the Southern Poverty Law Center for paying off organizations? White supremacy, is that what WS stands for? No. The FBI took down Southern Poverty Law Center. Let me see. Thank you for sharing that. Ooh. On April 21st, looks like something happened. And let me go to the private group. Hold on. On April 21st, a federal grand jury indicted the SPLC on 11 counts, including wire fraud, bank fraud, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. The organization pleaded not guilty in July 2026, and the trial is scheduled for October. The case centers on their past use of paid informants to monitor hate groups. The alleged scheme. The DOJ alleges that between 2014 and 2023, the SPLC improperly funneled over $3 million to $4.1 million in donor funds to secretly pay leaders of the Ku Klux Klan and other white supremacist groups. Prosecutors claimed that the SPLC defrauded its contributors by making false representation. They argued the group raised money on the premise or promise of dismantling extremist groups, but was instead funding them. So they're dismantling these supremacy groups like the Ku Klux Klan and white supremacy groups. Wow. Fictitious entities. The indictment stated that the SPLC opened bank accounts tied to fake entities to obscure the origin of the payments. Wow. And of course, they have the defense saying that, Trump administration is just coming after them, and et cetera, et cetera. Wow. Thank you for sharing that intel. I had no idea. It's over. And if you you look at the video that I did with the young elder, he tells you who behind the Ku Klux Klan and the white supremacist groups. The hidden hand. Annex hospitals popping up like crazy in Tampa, Florida, full of people with no medical skills. Yeah, they were recruited here by hospitals and other corporations. Right now, we have an influx, a whole bunch of single parent homes now, a lot of women and children living in hotels and cars or on the street. We have to remedy this problem where, couples work together for the children and families work together to make sure these children and these women are not struggling on the streets, because the women are vulnerable on the street. Men are vulnerable too, but they know they got to fight to survive. They know, and they're used to it. They used to getting stuff out the mud, working hard. But a woman should be protected. She's the one that's teaching the children. She's the one that gives life and the children. We all deserve protection, but we got to do something about this divide between the men and the women. Okay, it's beyond 3. So let's go to the private group. That was a 3D comment. Somebody made people making 3D comments talking about what's not going to happen. We won't go to a gold standard and all that, but we are. We're already there. I was trying to look and see if I could find any comments. No, this isn't pre-recorded. We're live right now, my darling. It's a setup like socialism, you're saying. People can't even find jobs. Wow. And in some cities like Miami and other cities, if you don't speak Spanish, you can't get a job, even though English is our first language, because they want to hire their own, a lot of the Cubans and other people that have come from here. You're welcome. I really appreciate you for saying thank you for all the wisdom and information that I share. People, please look at the title and details. If it says premiere is not live, it depends. Some people can premiere live. It depends. But this is live. Yep, we got to be careful who we lay down with. We do. So, Chief Mac, you must not be here now. I had said you could come on and give some final words. If you like, I did send you a link. But we are soon to go to our private group where I want to show the video where the former banker says that the wealth transfer is here. He talks about military being on the ground, how an emergency broadcast system announcement is coming and how it's being tested. As a former banker, he knows what's going on in the banks. He talks about it. He talks about the revaluation of currencies about to happen. I've spoken about it. I did a video called Banks Are Ready for the Currency Exchanges. And I've been talking about a lot of this information publicly and in the private group. You're here? Oh, Chief, do you have anything to say before we go to the private group? He said, I'm here. I just resent the link that, that you can on this group. If you want to say something, Chief. So in a nutshell, we showed a clip of a video where a former banker says it's going down. There are boots on the ground. We may hear about the country or the world being shut down. That the emergency broadcast system has been tested. The alert system has been tested. He's talked about how people are being arrested behind the scenes, and also $200 billion in deposits left Chase Bank. And we talked about why that could be happening. People are taking their money out the bank. Mostly whales are trying to hide their money. Billionaires, millionaires, and foreign investors too that came over here under H-1B visa statuses and all these other statuses to take jobs, banking jobs, wealth management jobs, and create businesses, many of which are shell businesses, while meanwhile they're trafficking money, children, and drugs through those banks. So they're trying to hide that money by taking it out of the banks. In the meantime, their money and assets are being frozen. And they're also taking them off the cryptocurrencies off of platforms and trying to hide it in the wallets. They can run, but they sure can't hide. Welcome, Chief Mac.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. Awesome live today, guys. Here.
Say it again, dear.
I said awesome live today.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're close. I'm gonna be giving one of my guys a call.
Okay.
Because some things are definitely taking place, guys. July could very well be the month. But we know that we won't go out of September, but if you don't have any foreign currency, you need to get some, guys.
Get
You
some.
need to get
Yes.
some because the people who invest in foreign currency, we will be the ones on top. Like the SAR, it's just
Hmm.
going to make it where people can live comfortably. Those who are tapped in. But if you're going to get some, because there are people who's going to be worth 50, 40, 50, 60. Listen, you it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch to say that somebody can be worth $50 million
Mm-mm.
because you can get three of the $100 trillion of notes that are on sale for $109. And that right there alone will put you at 45 million if you're doing the bare minimum of 15 million a piece, because we're talking about 100 trillion. Even if they devalue it down, even if it's down to 0.000007, it's that number will still give you over 15 million.
Mm.
So we talk about the Venezuela Boulevard, the that's what's that, about $5 or $10 per note.
Yeah, we saw some
You,
really
you got you got the
inexpensive.
you got the Vietnamese Don, which is coming in $500,000 interview. That's right now. You said $29 if it's still on sale. So
If
they're
it's
having
still
a
on sale.
slash sale on the currencies, guys. So something's up. And I told you guys about 2 months ago, William said that he himself was getting some foreign currency. He,
Wow.
he, he he said, he actually said that Venezuela Boulevard.
Mm.
He said he did, yeah. Based on people buying currency from him, he was basically said, hey, I need to get some of some Venezuela Boulevard. So this thing is going down. So there are people in here who don't believe. They're trying to convince us not to believe. And saying that there's not going to be a gold standard, and the
Hmm.
gold standard is already here.
Yes, sir.
It's already here. When they speak things to us, it's already in motion.
Mm.
So it's already here. The United States corporation is no longer here. So if you said that the gold standard is not going to ever be in existence, you're saying that the United States is still empowered.
Mm.
And then you're foolish if you say that, because too many things that happen behind the scene that tells those of us in the knowing that things are already here. It's just all about when they decide to hit that switch. And they're
That's
watching
right.
us. They're watching us. And I said, how are these people getting this? Because we're having dreams and visions from the source.
Mm.
We're having dreams and visions. We're seeing things, and we are the ones that's been sent here to be the new leaders of the whole world.
Yes, sir.
And to any entities in skin suits, masked around like they're us. And for anybody that's sent as an agent to distract the predators, distract the people, and hold up the progress between the gods and goddesses, the emperors, and for humanity coming here as if you mean the people good or having the people mean any good. You will be discovered, and you'll be out the way, because not because of me, because of the ancestors.
Yes, sir.
It's just way too many people on here that people are following, and I don't have any hate. I don't throw people's names in my mouth. I just want righteousness on the earth, because we've been going through too much.
We
And
have been.
I just want fairness and righteousness. And I see way too many people that people are not vetting, and people just following blindly. And you should know better than that when you look at Jim Jones and all the other people that people were finding blindly, even when they were sending the
Hmm.
signals. We supposed to have spiritual eyes. You're supposed to have spiritual eyes. You're supposed to be aware that when people come out of nowhere, you're supposed to vet them.
Yes, sir.
You're supposed to do that. And that's why so many people are watching kids' show, because kids waking up so many people at an alarming rate to them. All we want to do is we want fairness, we want righteousness amongst all people who are deserving of it. And we're getting sick and tired of these disinformation agents. They sent them to the social media platforms because mainstream television don't have the views that it used to have.
Uh-huh. Makes sense.
So now they said we got to send these people to the social media platforms, and these people are gonna have some knowledge. They're gonna say what you want them to say. Listen, the enemy comes like a knight in shining armor and says what you want them to say. Work on your heartstrings and say the thing. They're smart, they're clever, and they're cunning, like the
Honey.
bastard god of this world. They get the following, they come out of nowhere and bam, real quick. And then you see that, and then you say to yourself, well, everybody else is following them, so let me go ahead and do that. And that's the mistake that you make.
Mm.
That's a mistake that you make. I want togetherness. I want unity amongst all, against the righteous people. And I know that I need my sisters to cover me.
Yes. Mm.
I need, I'm so strong on the outside that it exposes my weakness on the inside.
Mm.
I'm so powerful and strong on the outside that I need a sister to cover me on the inside because I'm weak. And that's what a woman is for, is to be the man's strength when he's out there fighting the forces. When he come back in, he's weak. And the only body who can take care of that is a woman.
Wow.
Only.
Mm.
Somebody soft spoken, the fruits of the spirit, soft spoken, gentle, loving, kind.
Mm.
That's what a woman's job is for a man. And that's the yin and the yang. And if anybody coming in and putting us against each other like that, then we're not going to make it. Because we're gonna be too busy. We've been through that already with the what's that, with the in the 60s.
The feminist movement?
Yes. And guess what? Those two women were gender cons.
Mm.
They were gender cons. They don't like women. And they don't like men. And they want to stop the monotony of the family. We were sent here. If the woman and the man are fighting, then that's in a slick way. You know what that's doing?
What's that?
That's like a conscious accepted to keep us from procreating if we're arguing with each other.
Mm.
Population control. If the men and the women are so busy arguing, then we don't want to be there with each other to repopulate the earth. Because we're mad, I'm right, you're wrong. You're wrong, I'm right. I don't like you. It's my time to shine. It's my time to shine. We've been through that already. For me, I mean, to each his own, But for me, I'm gonna keep it old school, like the way I saw my mom and dad.
Mm.
And if it wasn't for my mom and dad being together, it wasn't the ideal relationship. No melanated relationship back in the 70s and 80s, and we had to struggle and rob Peter to pay Paul was perfect. But I had a dad in my life who, when I got an order, he took those big hands and straightened my ass out. But my mom could not have done it. When she called Charles, I'm sweating bullets. My dad would snatch out your shoe. But I had a dad that told me, boy, don't you know I love you? And that still stick with me today.
Mm.
Many men haven't had that. I had a dad, a strong man, said, boy, look at my face and said, don't you know I love you?
Mm.
And that still rings in my head right now. It teaches me balance, self-control. When I get angry, only a man can put a healthy level in spirit and his boy in the mean streets of Gary, Indiana, where I've seen with the first murder capital of the whole United States. I'm seeing friends, my left and right, snuffed out of here.
Mm.
Families screaming and hollering on the block because they lost a brother or a sister. And my mom and dad said, I am not losing any of my children to these mean streets and dangerous streets of Gary, Indiana. So that's all I have to say, man. So we with this well trained, let's get it. We got to repopulate the earth with righteous. Because we're gonna be it's gonna take us to incarnate our families back on earth.
That's beautiful.
And they're trying to stop us from incarnating that Christ conscious, that God that's going to be that saving salvation, and told you there was only one saving salvation coming. No, they're only going to be incarnated back through the indigenous people. That's why it's such an attack on us. That's why they have the birth control centers, Planned Parenthood, permeate in our communities because the gods and goddesses are going to be reincarnated through us.
Mm.
So we got to come together. So we got to be careful. And guess what? It takes a man, a sound man and woman, a melanated man and woman, sound. to bring the gods and goddesses and balance back to the earth. And if we preaching the man thinks he's better than the woman, or the woman thinks she's better than the man, and one or the other saying, I need to be heard, you got to be quiet, that's just dangerous. Let's take this back.
Mm,
It's dangerous. As I said,
it's
about 2
very,
cents.
no, it's very dangerous. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's just dangerous, guys. So we get this wealth transfer, keep our health in order, speak life, protection, coverage over you and your family, intercede for your family. Because it's what I'm doing right now. I went to go see my sister yesterday, and I'm so grateful that she was in good spirits. I loved on her, I hugged her. I sat there for like an hour and a half, two, talk with my sister, and I'm going to be there for her however I can. And that's a righteous brother. Now, that's how a man covers and love a woman when she needs me. She said, brother, I need to see your face. I say no more.
Mm, mm.
So you can say what you want to say about me, but you won't say it to my face. I'm a loving man. I love my family, even though some of them are stuck in these indoctrinations, but I'm a loving, caring man. I'm a loving, caring man to anybody that's righteous, but I know enough right now to say you can't love and go around accepting any and everybody because some people are undercover narcissists. And that's why I tell kid constantly, kid, be careful.
You do.
That women trying to come along, want to talk to you, find out what you got going on, what you're driving, where you stand, and all that.
Mhm.
No. I'm going to protect my kid. I
Thank you,
tell her,
Chief.
no, don't do this. No, don't do that. No.
You do.
And that's what men should do. And when people putting their mouths on women, and then y'all sit back just letting people get away with things like that, that's a problem to me. We have to protect each other fiercely, especially those of us on the front line putting the information out there. We should protect them fiercely. We should make sure any way we can do. And I don't give two rat asses about anybody saying, oh, they always ask me, like, you can kick fucking rocks because you're not on here doing this. And people speaking too much venom and trying to push a platform and get paid on these platforms by pushing venom on people, clout chasing. It's not going to work. People are hurting. People don't have jobs. People getting their house taken. Evictions, car repossessions, don't have jobs, barely got food, and despair. We need to talk about that. And if you're on these platforms and you're not talking about that's been done, and the people are going through it, you're not talking about that, but you only talk about things about how you can benefit. No, we need to be talking about how to encourage and build and lift and inspire the people. And if you're not doing that on this platform, I don't know why you guys are following somebody like that. I do that, kid do that. I know for sure we do these things. People are out here hurting.
They really are.
And you talk about man don't need the women, and women don't need the man like that. That's moving backwards. Ask yourself, is that gonna work? How many men you know out there that's gonna take his wife up you're gonna bow down to me? How many men are going to take that? Oh, it's time for you to it's time for you to get behind me now. It's my time to speak right now. You gonna be in that damn house by your damn self.
Yeah.
Even if you got a good paying job, there's so many women and mainly melanated women, because the attack is on us more so.
Mm-hmm.
When you do these things, and because of your selfishness, more melanated men have caused damage to the children because of your individuality, of your selfishness. You're destroying it. You don't even care about destroying the child because you're so big. Brian Hayes had posted something that was really on point. It was like some people, women don't care who they destroy. They end up destroying the child by destroying the man. They don't even care if they destroy the child because they're so busy trying to get to that man and make him suffer, the child suffer, and they don't even care about the child suffering.
That's true.
And so we got to come together and we have to break these generational curses. We have to break it, guys. So it's a wealth transfer coming. You're being watched by the ancestors to see how and what you're going to do with it.
Absolutely. And people are being removed right before our eyes right now in this time period.
It is. You guys can start seeing people be removed. The ancestors, I've seen it. People on here as disinformation agents pushing an agenda And some people can't see it, but people are getting ready to be removed. And I myself, if I was out here pushing an agenda to try to separate people, I wouldn't want to be around. But I see that happening right now. So if anybody out there doing that, then you're not going to be around because the earth is changing. It's changing. So you're going to start seeing people removed.
Mm-hmm. So we got to make sure our family, Chief is encouraging us to get our heart right. Make sure we, right now, we could be using this time to learn how to maintain wealth, because you're going to have access to a tremendous amount of wealth. You have to learn how to spend wisely, learn how to make sure your heart is in the right place, and you're going to use it for benevolent things. And I would say even beyond that, get healthy, learn about your health, because if you can have wealth all day long, but if you don't take care of your body, you're not going to be here. Make sure our mind is right, our heart is right, our health is, start taking care of our health and restore the family. Chief Mack and I have been really speaking on that a lot. Restore the family. Think about the children and the future generations that are to come. At some point, let's set aside our emotions and our whatever we've gone through, our discontent, our disagreements, and let's come to the table and work in harmony, because it's a whole new reality. And I'll leave with that. Chief, what do you have to say?
I'll leave with that as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chief Mack. You've heard from me, Dr. Kia Pruitt, and Chief Mack, Chief of the Soul Tribe. Family, if you want to get in touch with Chief, you can do it by two ways. You can either contact him by going to Unity, emailing him unityemotion45@yahoo.com. But some of you, I have had problems getting, some of you sending the email and it's coming back. I'm telling you, they're fighting against this. Try to send another email, or you can just go ahead and pay your consultation fee. If you pay a consultation fee to the Cash App, it's
contact me and leave your number and say consultation, your number in there in the comments of Cash App.
Do you just the Alan Judah or the other one too? Which one? Just the Alan.
It don't matter. Alan Judah 47. And you'll see Beautiful Max Ministry. You'll see something that come up and say a scam alert. Don't worry about that, because there was some people trying to discourage people, trying to stop the flow, but it's not stopping. Go ahead and make that payment. It's a $75 consultation fee. And if you're new to this, get on there, and I will help you make some make some moves that I've made. No, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not any of that. I'm just your humble brother who have gained some tremendous knowledge on helping our people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And just that one, or do you want me to give the other Cash App too? Just that one good enough?
I mean, Alan Judah 47, Alan Judah 50. This is either one.
Okay, let me put that down. Alan Judah 47 or Alan Judah 50. And the $75 consultation fee, put your number in there and say this is for a trust or trust. He'll know. Wait, Alan Judah 50. If the family is saying thank you, you're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
If you read, Chief, I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna show that video in a minute in the private group.
Okay.
When I told you about, if y'all want to see the video from the former banker saying that it's time that we'll likely have the currencies to revalue. First, he said the boots are on the ground. I reported that $200 billion has left the banks. Banks are shutting down. EBS systems have been tested. And he goes on to talk about some other problems that are going on in the world. And then he says that we will likely have a shutdown, but that's why boots are on the ground. And this is a good opportunity for some major wealth transfer to occur. I'm going to show the video and we'll, talk from there in the private group. This is what it looks like. I don't know why I just put that up there, but here I put the link in the chat for you, or you can just go to join on my channel, my YouTube channel. Either my YouTube channels, and come on in the room and join us in our private group. Chief Mack dropped some jewels on the video we did in a private group yesterday of how to live in a private, stuff people never heard of, things you can do right now so that you won't be tracked by the government. You can protect your children from all type of the government doing things to your children. It was such an informative video. he did yesterday, how to live in a private. So make sure you join a private group for any inside scoop and nuggets. All right, that's it. We're about to go in a private group. Thank you so much, Chief.
Okay, then.
I'm glad to hear your sisters doing well.
Yeah, I am too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Like Chief said, he's the covering. They're covering for us and watch out for us. They provide for us. They protect us. And the way we cover them is we speak life into them. We love on them. We nurture them. We caress them. We encourage them by encouraging words. We pray for them or meditate, speak positive affirmations over them in ways that only a woman can do. We need each other to survive. We love you, family. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
A woman is the battery that the man needs to charge him up to go out there and be that light and shine. And when we run out, we have to come home to get recharged. And only a woman can do that.
That was so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Thank you. I love being that. Oh, I like that. That gave me a little extra push. I'm the battery.
Yeah. You are.
Thank you, Chief. I love you.
Okay, guys. Love you too, guys.
We'll see you soon on the other side in the private group, family. Make this a great day. Peace.
Peace.